How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I'm going to be hopping into some ranked seasons, trying to earn as many rating points as possible in order to unlock the Signature Series Babe Ruth for the World Series reward. We're sitting at about 708 rating right now in the DS division. Recently made it into the DS, dropped back down into the wild card, looking to try and get back into the DS division, make my way towards the Championship Series and the World Series. In this one, we will be using Bob Feller, who I really like using this card. I recently picked him back up after selling Walter Johnson. I figured Bob Feller was a better pitcher than Walter, and he had much quicker motion. But I've also had some success with this card. I feel like he's the second best pitcher in the game behind Clayton Kershaw, in my opinion, just from some of the guys that I've used. I also really like using Zach Greinke, Madison Bumgarner, as well as I like using Nolan Ryan. At times he can be very effective. That's who this opponent is rocking with on the mound. And so far he has been able to dot me up in the first inning. He's been able to spot up with Nolan Ryan, which is pretty impressive. Anytime you're able to do that, I definitely feel like it's a very similar pitcher to Bob Feller. Bob Feller has a little bit more control, but anytime you are able to locate with these type of pitchers, they can be extremely difficult to hit. There with Willie Mays, he's able to get an infield base hit. Chipper Jones is unable to make the diving catch. I noticed that quite a bit, that Chipper Jones gets those diving animations, but he has a tough time making the play. I'm not really sure what happened out in the outfield with Willie Mays. I felt like I was right under the ball, ran right to it, and then I guess maybe I took a bad route towards the end, moved the stick to the right and missed the ball completely. But in that situation, you really want to try and keep the runner off second base. That's definitely a no double situation with 2 down in the inning. Luckily, I was able to get the strikeout there to get the second out. That's a big out because we could have went down 2 runs early on in this game with Nolan Ryan on the mound. That's never something you want to do. You don't want to get down too early. You want to look to try and get an early lead yourself and try and lower his confidence. Same thing with Bob Feller. They are both very similar starting pitchers, so it's nice to have them kind of match up in this video. But anyway, Chipper Jones has definitely been one of the better hitters for me since I picked him up. Probably around a 400 average, been one of the more solid hitters consistently for me. I definitely hit well with a lot of these guys in my lineup, but at times I can go into a slump with some people. Every now and then I'll take Griffey out of the lineup, even though he hits a home run here. I feel like he's not the greatest outfielder in terms of his defense and what his stats play. I think Ty Cobb is also a really good option out there. So I've kind of mixed up Griffey and Ty Cobb out there in the outfield. In this one, it worked out because Griffey went deep in that situation. I've also kind of switched up my second basemen here and there, trying to mix in Joe Morgan. I recently played a game where I didn't really do anything with him, but I definitely hit the ball all right, just didn't result in any hits. That one in that last at-bat just popped it up. But I'm looking to try and use my 2-run lead to my advantage. I'm trying to be as aggressive as possible with Bob Feller, looking to try and get as many strikes, first pitch strikes, try and get that confidence up. Looking to try and go the distance with this Bob Feller, simply because my bullpen is still pretty tired. Even though in the last game the opponent did quit out towards the later end of the game, I still used my bullpen and 2 guys, I believe. So I'm trying to avoid using as many guys as I can in this one, leave everybody to rest, and try and extend Bob Feller as many innings as possible. Of course, I'm going to have to try and score a lot of runs in doing so, but Honus Wagner with a base hit. I stole second base, unable to get anything going or a productive out as I popped up with Lou Gehrig. I kind of moved Lou Gehrig up in the order to the 2 spot, so a little bit of a different lineup going at it. Try and mix up my lineup as much as possible. I know oftentimes I use the same Signature Series players, and that's simply because I put a lot of my stubs, almost all of my stubs, into that Honus Wagner. I tried to get as many signature cards as possible, and then now with SDS just releasing the finest cards, it makes it a little bit more difficult for me to get those finest cards. I really want to try and unlock some of them, and I'm going to pursue them. It's just a matter of time. That's the only thing. I noticed in some of the comments, people want to see some of the finest cards. I'm looking to get that Javier Baez. But for now, just looking to use these Signature Series players and try and get some good gameplay with some of the best legends in the game. But we were able to knock a double with Ted Williams, and then something up the middle. He had been throwing me that fastball away. I was looking for it once again, and just got the barrel of the bat to it. We are on all-star difficulty, as this opponent is in the wild card division himself. So just because I'm in the DS, still can't get out of all-star just quite yet. Every time I've been in the DS or I've been in the wild card and the opponent's been in the DS, I just have not been able to have that matchup, 700 versus 700. And hopefully if we win this game, then we will be able to solidify ourselves a matchup against another player that is in the 700s and go ahead and play a game on Hall of Fame. As you have to play a series of games on Hall of Fame in order to make World Series, I definitely think that that's important. But the main difference from this video from the last video is probably I started off a little bit better hitting wise at this point in the game. In the last one, I was getting no hit, and that can happen sometimes when I'm not really warmed up or I just hop into a game, first game of the day. That can absolutely happen. So I suggest warming up in custom practice, some things I talked a little bit about in my hitting tips video. I'll go ahead and link that down below as well. Some people have recently asked me for some hitting tips. Even though I'm not the greatest hitter, I still have an above 300 average and everything. Try and square the ball up. I do line out quite a bit, and just as everybody else playing this game, everybody is playing the same game. So just try and give my tips, try and give as much information as possible in this video. But I wanted to try and give a nice example of a situation where when you take a mound visit, it definitely gives your pitcher confidence. When the opponent gets a base hit, for example, right here, in this situation, I'm saving the mound visit and trying to get that gold bar of confidence. If the opponent is able to get something going or even hit a 2-run homer, score a run here or something like that, I am able to get the out. But I'm going to either save that mound visit for a little bit later in the game when I'm trying to extend Bob Feller, and I felt like he was pitching pretty well at that point, and I felt like I was doing okay with the regular bar. But as soon as if I was able to take a mound visit at any time in this game, I'm going to go ahead and get that gold bar of confidence, especially after the opponent is able to get a base hit simply because I have the lead. He's been able to be pitching effectively. I just want to let you guys know that that's really important, and at this situation, I wanted to save it. I didn't feel like it was necessary to use at this point. If I throw to the cutoff man right here, I'm out of the inning with a double play, and possibly would have gotten the gold bar with a double play in that situation. With a ground ball or something like that. I'm able to get out of the inning, but I was saving that for a situation where if I'm in a jam, if he gets multiple guys in scoring position, I'm trying to save my pitcher and not go to the bullpen right away. That's definitely a good strategy there. And it's just a simple start and go to the mound visit. It's really wild how that works, but able to expand the lead a little bit with Chipper Jones. So far, he's been the player of the game. He's been able to knock a couple base hits, including a couple RBIs, and then, of course, that solo shot. So far, so good with that Chipper Jones. Definitely nice to have him in the middle of my lineup. And then finally with Joe Morgan, I'm able to get something going. The first base hit I've had with him since he's made his return into the lineup. I'm going to try this card out a little bit. I do get thrown out here at third base. I knew I was going to be out. I figured it was a great opportunity to go ahead and test it because I had my pitcher coming up next. Of course, I could have probably bunted him over, and I do indeed get a base hit, but he gets thrown out at first anyway. I don't think I would have been able to score him, but nonetheless, I would have been able to turn the lineup over and have Joe Morgan at third base in that situation if everything stayed the same and I didn't get thrown out. But anyway, I did get lucky at times in this game. This opponent was able to hit extremely well. He just didn't really get rewarded at times. Had some lineouts, had some good squared up hits, and I felt like I had the same. We both had a few lineouts at certain times in this game, but bottom of the 8th inning, 70 pitches in. I'm looking for the complete game shutout there as the opponent lines out with Cal Ripken. That was a pretty bad pitch for a changeup I wanted low in the zone. He threw it right over the middle of the plate. Come back with the fastball to Tony Gwynn, and he smacks that one into the gap the other way. So kind of an interesting ending to this game here, as the opponent definitely has a chance. I mean, 2 down in the 8th. He's down to his last 4 outs. He needs 5 runs to tie it, and on all-star difficulty, it is definitely possible. This game plays pretty crazy at some times. I mean, every now and then, you just won't be able to get your opponent out. Everything they hit starts to find a hole, and right there, he gets a nice double with Willie Mays. We have George Brett up at the plate. A good curveball there, low and inside, but that's George Brett in the clutch situation is an extremely tough out. And he's able to advance to second base. So another opportunity where I'm just giving him second by not throwing to the cutoff man. I really need to figure it out on defense, but Billy Williams lines out or hits a fly ball to Ted Williams. I don't really know. That's kind of an in-betweener, but it definitely could have been destroyed. Here in the 9th inning, I'm just looking to try and expand the lead. Unable to get anything going in that inning, I lined out there with Ken Griffey Jr. I had a nice check swing pop up to the pitcher with Chipper Jones, and I'm going to try and leave in Bob Feller to finish off this game, but the opponent starts the inning off with a solo shot, so that's definitely going to hurt the confidence. I did go ahead and think about taking a mound visit at some points in this game. I did take the mound visit, get the gold bar of confidence. But in this situation, it's a little bit too late. He hits a double. I'm going to go ahead and take out the pitchers, take out Bob Feller. There's no way to leave him in and allow him to have a chance to tie this game up. But with 2 down in the bottom of the 9th inning, he does have a guy on third base, hit a ground ball to second base, and moved him over. So there is 2 outs, and he goes deep with Rogers Hornsby. That was an amazing hit, a fork ball. Low and away. I tried to rob it there with Willie Mays, and now he's one swing of the bat from tying up the ball game, and I thought it was it right there. Andrew McCutchen flies out to center field. He pinch hit Andrew McCutchen for Tony Gwynn in that situation after I brought in Andrew Miller. But we move up to like 7:38 or something like that, and just looking to get to championship series. Thank you all for watching. That's going to do it for this video. I'm College Lefty, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.